2 November 65, 10:55 Stratford to Richmond, which is by CrankyBot. Obviously not got any tea. It's on North London Line with a class 378. Morning, driver. You're tasked with driving a class 378 on a local stopping passenger run from Stratford to Richmond. Open the doors before departing at 10:55. We have lights. We have lights. Where is Richmond? It's the other end of the line. So that's Stratford. Richmond is there. That's where we're going. That's our termination. We're stopping at a whole bunch of stations along the way. Wow, all of the stations. Ditchers. One thing I've learned after all these years is that almost any and every problem can occur with TS can be fixed by deleting the Robux folder and installing and reinstalling the game. Pretty much, actually. Verify is always a great place to start. Because Verify can fix an awful lot of problems. Right, we're off. Breaking the speed limit already. But it's not a career scenario, so it doesn't count. Bye-bye, Stratford! BMJ are picking games. Oh, I can't keep up where it goes. In games, when you change your graphics settings, why does it kick you out of the game and bring you back in? Then a box appears asking if you want to keep those settings. Right, so first it kicks you out of the game and restarts it, because quite often the game initializes itself based on the graphics settings. So if you're going to change them, certain graphics settings like resolution, then it more often than not will need to reinitialize itself. So the easiest thing to do to make sure it's done right is just to restart the game. So that's why it restarts. When it then restarts, it pops up a thing saying, do you want to check these settings? If you have made a change to the game, which means that the monitor comes up and says invalid settings, then you would have no way of dealing with it because you can't see it anymore. So what happens is that it's saying, press this button if you're okay with these settings. And the idea being that if you can't see those screen, then 5-10 seconds later, it will assume you don't like those settings and revert them back, and then you'll see them back on the screen again. So that's why when you change resolution, it always says, are you sure about these settings? It's so that because what happens is if you set it to a resolution, for example, your monitor doesn't support, then what would happen is that your monitor switch off. So you can't see anything. How much German fail was there? Oh, there's only one fail, actually. I was quite impressed. Not just any bronze that I missed. That was a Jan Chudoba bronze. That was an 800-point bronze. I am quite chuffed with myself. Pun fully intended. The circumstances demand a bad train pun. You Nebworth Stratford, then spatted at 60 miles per hour on your... Well, that's not such a good thing, Ben. Going to the gym then going to the pub seems counterproductive. Seems like that's a balanced equation to me. So you're now playing the exact same scenario yourself. Imagining getting confused with AWS sounds coming from the stream or the game. Yeah. Right, 25 limit as we come out of here. Next station's Homerton. One thing I would suggest, CeeLo's, is run the game in borderless instead. So you can set it to full screen, windowed and borderless. If you set it to borderless, it's like it's running windowed, but it looks like it's running full screen. And then what happens is that if anything like iTunes pops a window up or something like that, it won't interfere with the game and it'll carry on running perfectly well. Whereas if the game is running in full screen mode, then it gets upset when something else pops up and it has to context switch itself out of the game. Those are, that can really cause the game problems. So if you run it in borderless, you might find that, you should find that problem goes away. Some people find that runs a little bit slower. Some people find it runs a bit faster. So see how it runs on your system. .45 limit, and then we're up to Homerton. Coming in about a minute early. You're an FSX in windowed. Yeah, I know. Borderless, though, you don't get any of the title bar and so forth, which is quite nice. I run the game. One of the main reasons I run Train Sim windowed here is because then I can move the mouse out the window, no problem at all. To others, because I've got the 4 screens here, so moving the mouse around is being able to move the mouse around freely is awesome. Why don't they put a warning in the game when you have it on full screen saying it could cause problems if something like iTunes pops up? I don't think any game has ever popped up a thing, because any game running in full screen will at the very least you'll get an interruption to your game, and at the, a number of games I play crash out or can crash out with that switch back from full screen. So that's just I think it's more of a general knowledge thing, or trying to get that general knowledge out to people that borderless is much better. Some people do find borderless runs slower, though. I don't. I find it runs exactly the same speed, so it's really down to trying it. It's just because the other thing is that you have to run full screen if you want to take advantage of higher-end graphics card features like DSR. So I don't use DSR on this for that reason. But yeah, if you want to use DSR, then you need to run full screen. It doesn't work in windowed mode. Right, Hackney Central. DSR is dynamic scaled resolution. It's a bit like super sampled anti-aliasing, SSAA, but it's done essentially on the hardware. Did you have a good Christmas, DJ? I certainly did. Did you see us running your SFR mainline V2 the other day? Patrick Gary, thank you for the follow. I ran the Pedalston scenario part 1. So. BMJ, you got better GPU? Quite probably. What have you got? I got the 980 Ti. I did think about whether to get a 1080, but the 980 Ti's were running better. We had a problem with the pesky 37 that wouldn't get out of our way. We tried numerous solutions, but we just couldn't. We couldn't get it out of our way. So I, in the end, edited the scenario and deleted it. Tried 3 or 4 times. I just could not get that thing, get it out of my way. It was an epic scenario though. Once we got through that, it was very good. You got rid of the 37 in the end. Yeah, good shout. But yeah, it's an excellent scenario. Nicely done. Oh, part 2 is up already, is it? Good. Whoops. Not a great stop, but never mind. Anyway, someone say something about tea? No? Well, you should have! Oh, they did. Pedalston Tea Factory. Yeah, I can always rely on Baked Bean Kid to talk about tea. You're not feeling very well, Francois? Get well soon, mate. Right. Cannonberry. Still on a 40 limit. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say to that, Cameron's Gaming. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. You got the 1080, yeah. I saw that BMJ. I didn't think it was better. I thought it was equivalent, to be honest, because the 980 Ti is an older card, but the Ti gives it more oomph. It's better in some ways, definitely. Alright, coming up on Cannonberry. Shift tab. We got time. coast onto the end of the platform. Some of you can't see the stream. It's a bad show. There's only 103 watching. Wow. Where is everybody? They're off having fun, doing something more interesting. When am I streaming MSDS? I'm not really planning on it. Right, 40 miles an hour. Highbury and Islington. Hey there, firefighter. Welcome. Still not letting the whole train in. Come on. Keep going. Just let everybody have a turn at the platform. You got the New Haven Springfield line. Yeah, the Springfield line is very good, isn't it? It's nice to see some of the slightly older or period American routes coming out. What don't you like about the Loco 4072? Right, 40 limit, Caledonian Road and Barnsbury. Oh, nice DJSP, that's good. Glad the tutorials are useful. Firefighter, you finally made the jump to buy it. Awesome. Welcome to the club. And say goodbye to all your spare time. What's the best routes? It depends what you're interested in, really, as Moggy is saying there. Thing about the TS library on Steam is that there's a wide variety there to cater for a massive number of different interests, whether it's Steam, American, Diesel, Electric, 1980s BR, UK, Great Western Steam. They're all different, chalk and cheese. The BR474 has bad brakes and broken passenger view. The brakes were done with the help of a BR474 driver, so and he said they were okay. So I'm not sure what else we can do other than follow the feedback we get from the people who drive them. I don't find them bad at all, actually. There is a technique to driving that one. You need to use the air and the e-brakes in combination, and then finish it off with the air as you come to a stop. And then I found I could stop it quite rapidly. Your wife's favourite phrase has become, "You're driving trains again." Mostly American routes. Freight passenger, anything particular there? Any particular branch, like Norfolk Southern or Union Pacific? Long freight, short freight, coal freight? Sherman Hill's a nice route. I mean, any of the passes. Donner Pass is one of my favourite of the big American long haul passes. New York, New Haven's my favourite of the American passenger routes. If you like New York stuff, then the New Jersey Transit stuff is also good. Is the best, but it's scenery quality, not scenario quality. But scenery quality depends if you are suffering any memory problems. If you're getting crashes due to out of memory, then yeah, scenery quality will reduce the amount of memory the game is using quite significantly. Why is the passenger view broken? That I don't know, Cameron's Gaming. I'll mention that to the team at work tomorrow and see if they know what's going on there. Because it was working. Maybe they updated and broke it. I don't know. It certainly was working. I'm sure it was. Still running slightly ahead of schedule here, which is good. Camden Road. Horseshoe Curve and the racetrack are good freight and passengers. That's another good shout, Ruben, actually, yeah. Horseshoe Curve is set Pennsylvania Railroad era. So again, it's a nice contemporary route and a nice older period route. And the racetrack is really nice if you want running a run out of the big Chicago Union Station, which is actually quite awesome. What I'd suggest, Firefighter, is have a look at. I have pretty much run every route multiple times, and you can go and have a look and just see what takes your fancy. Feather River Canyon is another excellent shot, Crucible. It's just every player you place the camera, there's a beautiful screenshot. Right, and we're off to now Kentish Town. Speed limit is 20. So I'm turning here. Who sits sideways on a chair? I have to have a look. I don't remember how that works. Firefighter. So Twitch do fairly regular sales, and then Train Sim is usually amongst those. There's the autumn sale in November, winter sale in December. There's usually one in summer. Sometimes there's been some in Easter time, around March. So the next big Steam sale is probably the one in the summer. But like I said, sometimes there's one in March as well. Although they're not usually as big. I mean Steam, not Twitch. I don't know. I don't even remember what I was saying. Problem is, I was looking over and I read what someone was saying while I was speaking, and I probably just blurted that out instead. Oh, did I say Twitch having sale? No, Steam sale. Steam sale. Apparently Twitch does sales. Right, 45 limit. Next station is Gospel Oak. Wasn't there a Chinese New Year's? Last year there was, yes. Like I said, I don't know what's happening in the future, and to be honest, even if I did know what Steam sales were coming up, I could share that information. But yeah, it's. God says keep an eye on Steam. You'll find out when the sale, or you'll Google. You can normally find out. Someone normally leaks these things. Right, slowing down for 20. Well, there's usually daily deals on, I think, and weekly deals and all that stuff. So it's always worth checking out, in case there's any good deals on at the time. I've found out how to reset the cup. There you go. Cup is reset. Is it time to go yet? You've seen the weekly and daily deals up? Yeah. Nothing like the last sale. Oh no, you need the bigs. They're effectively the big sort of twice a year sales for the bigs, for the massive discounts. Yeah, they don't happen that often. Just usually summer and winter, and I think autumn as well. So I think it's normally sort of June, July, August time for the summer sale. I'm not watching what I'm doing. I'm watching chat. Blame chat. It's all your fault, guys. Apparently Twitch are having DDoS problems. Boo Twitch. Or boo DDoSers. But if you will log in here regularly, Firefighter, what you'll find out is that everyone will be very much telling you when there are sales on. It's sort of an in-joke. Oh, Klaus. I see what you mean. I wondered if it was your first initial in your surname, perhaps. Baked Bean Kid, 10 bits, filling up the jar. Still got green light. Great Western Geek. Well, no giveaways today, no. I need to think about it. I haven't done giveaways since the Children in Need stream, so let me think about that and I'll see when we can do a giveaway. We'll try and do one maybe Friday. Right, we're off. .45 limit, Finchley Road and Frognall. Yeah, Arnold, the way that the bits work in this area is that their mass and their gravity, or their mass, is essentially determined by how many bits they represent. So a 100-bit would sink to the bottom and chuck out a load of the ones in the way. I was watching a stream earlier on where a bunch of people were almost fighting over it. One person was putting in a bunch of little ones, and someone would drop in a big one and bounce most of the other ones out. Firefighter, thank you for the subscription, much appreciated. Thank you very much for your support. If you have Discord, talk to one of the moderators and they will let you know how you get signed up with Discord on our thing, because you get access to that as a subscriber. And don't forget the emotes as well, you get extra emotes as a subscriber. Thank you very much. Do you remember the St. Pudsey you did from STS? No? Where was that? What was that, Jellybean? Right, West Hampstead next. It was a Deltic. Have you got a screenshot at all of it, Jellybean? I don't even remember that. You sure that was me? Wow, Baked Bean Kid cheered for 400. Wow, thank you very much. There you go, they're not coming out in a hurry, are they? Found it on CD today along with 5 from Chris Longhurst. Oh, is that Roundhouse? Oh, St. Pudsey. You mean St. Paddy? Do you mean St. Paddy, the Deltic? Yes, I did. I submitted some stuff for Roundhouse. That was the first. That was awesome because the front cover of that box is my Deltic. and they didn't tell me they were going to do that. So I walked into game thinking, oh, I should go and pick up a copy so I can, I can say I bought something from game that had my content on it. And then I looked up on the shelf thinking, where is it? Where is it? Oh my god, that's my Deltic staring back at me. What? My wife had to put up with my very big head then for a while, it has to be said. You got some stuff on there as well, did you, Moggy? GG. Crucible, yeah, the Deltic. It was the Deltic's the one that I did. Francois, the minimum bit donation is 1, but it takes, I think, 10. Is it 10 before it shows up? I can't remember. It's 50 before it'll show up as a pinned message on the top. 10 before it will show up actually as a big thing that covers the stream up briefly. But just 1 will go into the jar. Yeah, the number 1 comment I got back from people about it was, why does the cab look like a GP38's cab? I was like, because it is a GP38's cab. Right, next station's Bronsbury Park. Up on 40 limit. There you go, that's the roundhouse. That was my Deltic. I know it doesn't look a lot like a Deltic, but it was the best I could do at the time. And there weren't a lot else to choose from. Oh, of course you can't see it, can you? What a twit. There it is, there. I'm in the way, am I? I'm always in the way. That's sort of the story of my life. Does it have a pantograph model? Let's have a look. Oh, we appear to be running on the wrong... The scenario has used the wrong 378. There is a 378 with overhead power. Mr. Tranker, can you use coal stages to fill up wagons? In reality, you could, but you wouldn't, because the wagon would be actually feeding down into the tender. In the game, no, I don't think so. I've not tried it, but I don't think so. Firefighter, I really don't like playing it without the rail driver, I have to say. I much prefer having my rail driver on. I miss it when I don't have it on. It is quite an investment. So if you've only just got into it, I would probably hold off for the time being, if I'm honest. But keep it in the back burner and see how you get on with the game. But no, I love playing with the rail driver. It just feels so much nicer. When I go through locos that I have to use the keyboard for, it's just feels wrong. Sounds like Twitch is having problems. If anyone mentions it in the chat, let people know Twitch are having problems. And I don't think there's a lot I can just, suggest. I don't know if some people are saying to turn off the HTML5 player. Some people are saying to turn it on. Some people are suggesting to use a thing called Live Streamer. And it may be that none of those has any impact whatsoever, because the problem is actually because Twitch are having issues at the moment. Has Twitch posted any things on Twitter? Because Twitch support are normally quite good at posting service updates on Twitter if there are any issues. Right, we're heading for Willesden Junction now. 35 limit coming up. No, I probably won't need to swap power sources, Baked Bean Kid. This 378 probably doesn't even have the ability to swap power sources. Well, it wouldn't do, it's only got one power source, so... Worth keeping an eye on eBay for a rail driver. That's not a bad shout, yeah. And also keep an eye on this chat. Sometimes people will post on this chat saying that they want to sell their rail driver, and you pounce on those people. Oh yeah, Steam Cab would be really nice. I'm not convinced you'll need to have the real controls though, because once you've got the wireless controllers, I think that'll work. Hey EC says Twitch support saying we're investigating issue with the site no loading for some users. Stay tuned. So if you don't already follow Twitch support, it's at Twitch support on Twitter, assuming you're a Twitter user. And if not, you're a bit of a twit. Because they're, like I said, they're quite good at posting updates. So it's worth if you're on Twitter, give them a follow so that you can keep update with what they're saying. Usually, in reality, there's something interesting in there. West Coast Main Line down there. Stood on here and did some train spotting a while back. It wasn't a road bridge. It must have been somewhere around about here. Yeah, I think there's another bridge, like a footbridge somewhere around here. Alright, it's time to go. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any AI, does there, Francois? Oops. Have I tested the software for the Loco Throttle? No, not yet. I keep forgetting to start it. Can you use Rail Driver as a controller with DCC? I do. The software, my Rail Director software that I use for the model railway at my dad's place has got Rail Driver support. In fact, it's fundamentally the same code as TS Connect. I just copied it across. But there's other software as well that'll do it as well. So I think, I don't know if JMRI does, but the Railroad Controller, I think it is, that one's got Rail Driver support. But there's a number of ways you can make the Rail Driver work with model railways. We're still just about running to time. How are we doing? Oh, I got one late. Bad news. I thought I was running to time everywhere. Yeah, bear in mind, Firefighter, you do need to get something else to hook it via your computer, so you will need to find some software or something that will actually do the job. The rail driver on its own won't connect to your railway. You'll need to get some other software or hardware that will actually do the link. But such things do exist, and they work rather well, actually. Coming up on Acton Central. Brown sauce and burger sauce. Oh, hello, that sounds like a really interesting idea, EC. Crouchy LP, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. FabD, but yeah, Raspberry Pi would do a hardware link. You would still need to solve the software problem though. So to be honest, you would just as easily use your PC that you normally use for controlling your railway, assuming you have got the computer interface, because you need that even with a Raspberry Pi. So that's where it starts to mount up. Because if you normally just have like a DC, like an NENT system or an NCE system, and you just use the handheld controllers, then all of a sudden it's a rail driver, it's a computer interface, you need to have a computer plugged in to do it and buy the software to make it all work. So if you're coming at it from not already having the computer working, then it starts getting the costs mount up quite rapidly. But if you have got all that stuff, it is pretty cool. Plus you get to control your all your trains and your layout from your computer, which is pretty awesome actually. Twitch is RIP. It is a bit taken fanatic, isn't it? Never mind. Dum-dum. How long we got left? South Acton, Gunnersbury, Kew Gardens and Richmond. Due in 14 minutes. Yeah, rail driver and the lens module's only a bit more, you're quite right. Yeah, LH100s are ridiculously expensive for what they are. They're seriously overpriced. Naughty Steam. How do you mean, Arnold? Now it's only a matter of convincing the wife to spend more money on the train layout. Yep. I still need to get these. I've got 6 Raspberry Pis and the idea was to set them up as handheld controllers for the layout. I really need to get off my backside and get those done. There's a lot of the software's written, I just need to... It's like so many projects I've got that are sort of all half done. Yellow and the feather indicator. Taken Fanatic. This is 2 November 65, 10:55 AM. Stratford to Richmond. It's on Steam Workshop. Multiplayer races. See, that's different, Dom, Ed. That isn't even started yet. GWR, always love this stream. I hope to post GWR 6072 if I can get a mod. Nice. Thank you very much for your continued support, GWR. Thanks, ET, for updating the snag list. Yeah, the racing thing isn't even started yet. At the moment, it's got as far as being a wish. It's a good idea that hasn't got any further. It might even be a bad idea, but we'll try it at some point. I am trying to make it an effort to get TS Connect pushed as far along as I can, so that I can, if there's any hope I can get it available to everybody, then I can. It'll be in a good state for that. Oh yes, EC. Yeah, good shout. I actually thought about it today and then immediately forgot about it because someone interrupted me. So. Right, I've made a note on Notepad. I'll try and do it. What does TS Connect do? It's the thing that does the rail driver, the panels, the map view, the everything really that I've got on here, all the gauges. Right, slowing down for Gunnersbury. Right, coming into Gunnersbury now. How are we doing time-wise? We're early. Yay! You went with CT Electronic SDH. I've not used any of their stuff. We've got Lens System, we've got NC Power Cab, we've got a Hornby Elite, we've got the Bachmann Dynamis. We've got the EC. What's the DCC USB programmer thing? It's only really meant to be used for programming. Can't remember what it's called now. Got one of those. They're actually really good. The cheapest DCC system you can get, just about, albeit it'll only be basically run one loco. Although they do have a bigger version now, which has got the more amps on the power supply, so you can use it more for running trains, not just for programming them. Firefighter, yeah, I play American Truck Sim and Euro Truck Sim. I like them both. Again, if you look on my YouTube channel, you see lots of videos. Lots of videos on both of them. American Truck Sim really advanced recently because they rescaled the map, made it a lot bigger. It's lovely, I really like it now. 15 limit, watch what you're doing. Baked Bean Kid, a steering wheel is good, is ideal, sorry, but if you've got a Steam controller, that is a very good second place. It doesn't it doesn't beat a steering wheel. Definitely, a steering wheel is the best one. But I was able to get a Steam controller working to the point that I didn't miss my wheel, which I was really pleased with actually. It's not bad with an Xbox controller if you've got that kind of control. Don't use the keyboard. If all you've got is keyboard, then absolutely not. Keyboard control is pretty horrible. Yeah, I need to get up now. I've got all the screenshots. I just haven't been uploading them to Flickr. I'll try and do 10 a day or something and see if I can't get them up. Kew Gardens. The ESUE costs, oh, it's a lovely unit, isn't it? But yeah, you're talking 400 or 500 quid for one of those. Like Zimo stuff is very good as well, but again, it's very expensive. No, I haven't been to Q Pumping Station. Detection Inspector Knee. Can I not bribe Cameron to upload things for me? I don't know, I'll have to try that sometime. Yeah, it's definitely an Xbox is very playable. An Xbox controller is very playable for truck sim. The Steam controller, because you can operate it, it's got a motion sensor, so you can operate it like a wheel. Is much better. But then an actual steering wheel, obviously, is the ideal. Black rectangles over the cooling fans. That sounds like it's missing a texture. The black rectangles. Oh, that's the particle effect is missing its texture. Moricom, I'm sure SCS. The plan was to make the entire of the US available, just as each state being a different pack, and some they would do free, and some of them they charge for. Be interesting to see when the next state comes out, which one it is, and what they do with it. Oh, Shazam reckons it'll be New Mexico. Right, 15 limit. The other suggestion that has come back, I've seen people get, Klaus, is to forcibly go in and delete the AP file and the assets folder for the route. So in your case, it'd be DTG Bristol Swansea, I think, assuming it's the Bristol Swansea route. And then do a verify so that it forces it to do a re-download. Chuz, if you're still about, what was the instruction that you got from? Was it just to delete everything and reinstall it, or was it something else? Because deleting and reinstalling is another option you could try there, Klaus. It's a bit heavy-handed, but sometimes it needs it. Right. Run at gaming, trying to fill the jar up with bits again. And that's Richmond. That's the end of that one. What's up next? Oh, a little tiny one with a bishop, with 3F on the Weird Owl. So failed, yeah, because one station was I was probably 2 seconds late to. Grumble. Anyway, it's an okay scenario. Missing a bit of AI. It really needed AI. It was a good journey though, and I like the route. I like the route a lot. Okay, so I'm going to restart the game again. Right, back in a moment. Oh, yeah, probably should shut down track IL before I try and restart it. That's it.